Welcome everyone to the Seventh Tackle. I'm Tony Coonan and today I'm with Paul Dean.
Thank
How
you,
you going,
Tony?
Paul?
Well, very well, thanks, mate.
Mate,
Good to see you.
you're the new chairman of the TRL.
Yes, mate. Sort of came out of the blue, but yeah, I'm looking forward to the role. Actually, looking forward to being able to go to a lot more matches.
Yep.
Obviously, my previous role in the TRL, whilst I was the treasurer, I was also in charge of discipline and judiciary. Very difficult to go along to games and watch that, knowing full well that something may crop up, come out of that, and then I have to review it.
So go back in history a little bit, back to your previous involvement before the TRL.
I was involved in Warrialda as the president down there for several years. I was on the management committee of Group 19 and I became the secretary of Group 19. I was on one of the delegates for the CRL down there as well, Country Rugby League.
And then you've been involved with the TRL now, what, 3 years?
Yeah, in my third year. I've been the treasurer for the last 2.5 years. We're financially pretty sound now, and I've been the deputy chairman as well. And obviously with what happened recently, I went to acting chairman and now the full-blown chairman. So good times.
So there's been success in the TRL, and now we're going to hope for even more success. Where do you see it going now, under your leadership?
Tony, a board, obviously we're a true board, and a true board, yes, we're responsible for governance and we're responsible for the financial side of the business. But we also have a moral obligation, I believe, which is to ensure that the game survives and goes forward. So in that moral obligation, then all the board members, they need to be listening. I have a great thing about, you've got 2 ears, 1 mouth. You should listen twice as much as you speak. And we need to listen to all our affiliates. We need to listen to their issues. They're all volunteers. They're really similar to us, except their day is most very greater than ours. And we need to listen to what their issues are, what their problems are. A lot of them have brilliant ideas. We need to listen to those ideas. We need to see what we can do with those ideas, take it forward, and maybe at the end of the day, we end up with a far better product, because the delivery of our product obviously satisfies our sponsors, and sponsorship today is a massive, massive part of our game. Not only from our point of view as a TRL, but every single affiliate's looking for that sort of thing as well. So we've got to ensure that they, their risk is taken out of their business, so that we look after their risk management. We go forward and mainly we listen. We're not there to be the police. We need to look after them and keep going forward from there. As a board, yes, we are the umbrella over the top of the TRL and all our affiliates. But there's one thing: there's no I in team. And we must ensure that we, as a board, operate as a team. But we can't operate on our own. The lead dog gets a change of view. But in a team of huskies, you've all got to pull the load. You've all got to pull the weight. If you think about our affiliates, one of our affiliates is Junior Rugby League. Now, ladies these days, the mothers make probably more decisions about what sport their kids play. They go along and they're watching a game, and it's safe and secure, it's friendly, it's all the right things. Then mums will not have a problem about little Johnny playing rugby league. But if it's not, there are so many choices, especially in a place like Toowoomba, where you've got soccer, you've got AFL, you've got tennis, you name it, you can play it. Marbles if you really want to. So you can play anything you like. We've got to make sure that our product is so good that all parents want their children to play our sport, because that is our future. If we do not have a good, solid junior base, then our seniors ultimately will struggle. And that's what we need to do.
Yeah, so you've been talking about juniors who are part of our affiliates, and there's lots of other affiliates too, so all the other clubs, the Referees Association, all that sort of stuff. Going into the future, how do you see our relationship, the board's relationship, with all of those people?
We've got to ensure that we're 100% open communication. We must be totally transparent. When we talk to these clubs, we can't have hidden agendas. We must go to them and we must be able to say to them, do you have any issues? Do you have any problems? Do you have any offers that you can help us with? So we've got to be two-way communication all the time. So, and with referees, we've got to work out a way of ensuring, we've got great players out there that are finishing up. Why can't we get some of these guys to go on and become referees? They're just out of the game. What a perfect, pool of people to come through into refereeing. So we need to clean up the whole game all the way through. The code of conduct must be controlled, and we must ensure that all clubs do it.
So Paul, onto volunteers now, and most of your great volunteers are doing it and not expecting anything, but when something is done in return, it means everything when you're a volunteer, doesn't it? That somebody's gone out of their way to reward you. So what sorts of things?
Clubs need to recognise, and we need to push them forward, and then we as a board need to also acknowledge the fact that when you go to a game, there are volunteers. Go and talk to them, go and say thank you. Thanks has been the smallest word ever used, and yet gives it, just remember it's just a massive word, and people take it forever.
And we've got a volunteer reward program too on the TRL.
Yeah, and that's the one that Jody runs, and that's a great system, you know what I mean? We need to push it out there and keep going.
Yeah, Paul, so we've got a national code of conduct, NRL code of conduct. It's sort of splashed around everywhere. It's in the program each week, and there's signs everywhere. How do you see the relationship between that and we've got amazing fans in the game that we want to keep coming to the game? How do you see the relationship between those two things?
I think the National Code of Conduct was brought out many years ago, and it was where people started to realise that there was a serious risk involved for all clubs and all affiliates, based on the fact that they're spectators and and their players and referee. Everybody has a role to play in terms of that National Code of Conduct. So if you take the National Code of Conduct and you say, okay, the first thing that the spectator must understand is that when they come through the gate, they are entering those grounds based on that National Code of Conduct. So that anything that they do that breaches that National Code of Conduct enables the people whose home game it is to have them removed, or they stand in line and they stop doing it. We need to maintain our fans in Australia as fantastic fans, and not as they have in England in particular, in soccer, as fanatical fans.
We've got incredible sponsors, the TRL.
We do.
And they're sort of expecting this from their advertising dollar, aren't they? Their sponsorship dollar. They want to see it going into a good game.
Yeah, and they also want to see, their benefit. It's a cost benefit to them. Yeah. And the benefit comes from the more and more spectators they have going to the games, the more the people that see their brand.
Yeah.
And if you take, have a look at our sponsors, which I must thank, which is Hutchinson's Builders, you've got Toyota, you've got Trilby Misso and Clyde Berghofer, or if you wanted to, you could just have a look down the sides of the shirt and we'll give you the whole lot.
Westpac,
Clyde, as well.
And Elastoplast.
So we've got some fantastic, very strong sponsors.
Yeah.
And we need to make sure that we produce a strong product so that everybody heads in the same direction.
Yeah. Righto, Paul, it's all looking good for the future. So thanks for coming in and good luck.
Thanks, mate. Good on you. I'll catch you around the grounds.
Yeah,
look forward to it. Thanks.